Thank you for joining us this evening.
The Trojan baseball season starts tomorrow night, and if the first crack of the bat is not exciting enough, there'll be a little something new at the game. Baseball fans will now be able to enjoy a cold one inside Riddle Pace Field.
Starting tomorrow with baseball, with our opening baseball game, we will have beer sales in Riddle Pace Field.
Peanuts, popcorn, and Cracker Jacks. Well, now you can add beer to that timeless baseball menu at Riddle Pace Field, as Troy University will start serving beer with the baseball season opener Friday night. Hartwell says he hopes a cold one will add to the fan experience.
It's not just about the opportunity to sell beer, but certainly, you know, in the 17 months I've been here, one of the keys that we've been focusing on is the fan experience, and certainly we want to do everything we can to offer, you know, an enhanced fan experience for folks, and certainly after going through looking at this as one of the options of that, certainly we think it made sense.
By adding beer sales, Troy joins many of its Sunbelt brethren in offering the beverage at athletic events.
One of the other factors as we looked at this, with us implementing this tomorrow, we become the 8th out of 10 current Sunbelt schools who serve alcohol in their athletic venues, and our neighbor to the south, in-state South Alabama, has had alcohol sales at their athletic venues for well over 10 years.
As for use and abuse of alcohol privileges by fans, Hartwell says they have guidelines in place to hopefully keep things under control.
We're going to adhere to many industry guidelines, you know, cut it off sales at the middle of the 7th inning. You can't purchase any more than 2 at a time. Anybody who is either consuming, purchasing, or literally carrying beer, you know, from the concession stand up into the stands is going to have the wristband. There will be an ID center in the stadium where people go, obviously show a valid ID, and they will get a wristband.
Now, does this mean beer at other Trojan athletic venues? Hartwell says the success of baseball beer could be the deciding factor.
You know, as we go through the baseball season, and if we're comfortable with the rollout and that it's handled appropriately, both from our staff in terms of policing it, as well as our fans from not abusing it, then certainly our intention is to spread it to other athletic venues.
As Hartwell mentioned, fans will be required to get and wear a special wristband in order to buy or consume beer during the games.
Next week is the Student Government Association officer elections, but starting tonight, Troy students will have the chance to meet the candidates through the televised SGA debates here on TrojanVision. Each year, TrojanVision is host to the Student Government Association debates, a televised event introducing candidates to the student body and allowing them to share their platforms and answer questions.
This really gives the opportunity for students to truly see who's running and what their platform is and what their passions are and how they can help them as the student of Troy University. But by having a televised debate, it allows it to be shared on social media, it allows it to be rewatched, it allows students to truly see it even if they can't get away from their dorm room. And I also believe by having it on television, it truly sees how they would interact in a situation.
And while some candidates use previous televised debates to their advantage,
for today's debate, I kind of went online to look at previous debates just to see how other schools have kind of done it.
I watched the clerk debates from previous years and got advice from people who have run from executive office before to see kind of how to approach the debate.
Others use more traditional methods to prepare.
I basically just wrote down my introduction and conclusion and practiced not reading from the paper but learning to look up as well. And then I just kind of memorized my platform and what I really stand for.
Candidates have spent a lot of time preparing for this debate, but they had varied reactions when they finally stepped behind the lectern.
I just feel like with a camera, it was easier for me to talk to. Literally 5 minutes up to the debate, my heart was beating so fast.
It was a little nerve-wracking. I think it was for all candidates.
I think it's easier to speak in person. I kind of wasn't that nervous because I had to do this last year when I ran for SGA clerk.
I was completely nervous being on TV. I'm usually an audience-centered person, and being on TV was a whole new experience for me.
The thing about it being in person is it may or may not be recorded forever, but with TV you definitely know that your answer is going to be recorded, so you can go back and watch it over, or other people can go back and watch it over and over again.
Once again, the debates will premiere tonight at 8 and show again tomorrow night at 8.
Valentine's Day is less than 24 hours away, but if you still haven't gotten that special someone a gift, it might not be too late. Courtney Addison visited a local florist today to shop around and see what options are available in Troy.
What lady wouldn't want to come home to a beautiful bouquet of flowers on Valentine's Day? Jeans Flowers is always busy filling orders, but this week, business has picked up tremendously.
Well, Valentine's obviously is very busy. It all comes at one time, so it's just really hectic. Just a lot of orders at one time, so that's really the meat of what goes on during Valentine's Day.
Drinkard added that the floral designers at Jeans Flowers will do anything to accommodate your needs in order to make your arrangement special. But do people tend to be on top of things or push ordering flowers to the bottom of their to-do list?
Everybody waits to the last minute. It seems like they don't realize Valentine's is always on the 14th.
But for those who haven't ordered flowers for that special someone, you might not be out of luck just yet.
Yes, we'll sell until we run out, so if you're the lucky one that gets here first, you'll get the worm.
You may pick your flowers up at Jeans Flowers, but they also offer a delivery service. Drinkard says the best way to ensure your order will be taken is to stop by the store. Due to a limited staff, Jeans Flowers isn't able to take every phone call. A dozen red roses seems to be the main purchase this Valentine's Day, but if you want to do something a little different this year, Drinkard says Jeans Flowers has almost every option.
Well, we do have mixed flower arrangements with lilies and tulips and things like that, and also just tulips in a vase. People seem to like those just as well as roses.
If you aren't interested in purchasing flowers, Jeans Flowers also offers many different arrangements filled with candy and stuffed animals. Courtney Addison, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Once again, Valentine's Day isn't until tomorrow, so there is still time to finish your shopping. While some folks are shopping for gifts, there may be some other students who haven't been hit by Cupid's arrow just yet.
That's right, Danielle, but last night the UAC gave students the opportunity to find love. Caitlin Crow has the story.
Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and some students decided to make one last effort to find that perfect Valentine. The UAC held speed dating as a way for students to connect with one another and potentially find that special someone.
You know, it's right around the corner from Valentine's Day, and we just wanted people to find that special someone or just get connected with someone, and what's the perfect way in just having a speed dating? So it just kind of clicked and two went together.
If someone believes they may have found the one, all they had to do was write their name down on this date card and present it to a UAC member.
Over 100 students were in attendance, some looking for love, others just to meet new people.
It's a great way for people to meet new friends and interact with each other. Even if you're not coming looking for someone, it's a great way to meet new friends and build a bond.
Each potential couple had exactly 2.5 minutes with each other to get to know one another before they rotated. No question was off limits, but if there was ever an awkward moment, UAC members provided get-to-know-you questions on the table. Matches were made at last year's event, and several speed daters think they may have found a connection this year.
It's been pretty fun. I've met a lot of cool people and, see a lot of funny things. Everybody's getting along, having fun.
Overall, the UAC was proud of their event and feels they will do it again next year around the same time. Caitlin Crow, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The next UAC event will take place on Wednesday for Dollar Movie Night.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. In Montgomery, a gay man whose husband was killed in a car accident is filing a federal lawsuit challenging the Alabama laws that prohibit the recognition of his marriage, which was legally performed in Massachusetts.
Also in Montgomery, Alabamians wanting to stock up on supplies for the next round of bad weather have a tax-free shopping weekend coming up. The state is waiving its sales tax, and more than 200 cities and counties are waiving their local sales tax from Friday, February 21st through Saturday, February 23rd for severe weather preparedness supplies.
And in Athens, sheriff's officials in North Alabama say a woman and her daughter died in a house fire. The Limestone County Sheriff says the victims of the fire early yesterday are identified as 76-year-old Josephine Ann Lamar and 43-year-old Tracy Shook.
Still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, the men's basketball team takes on Western Kentucky tonight. Mitchell Spoon will give us a full game preview when he joins us in sports. Now Mitchell Spoon will join us with sports. So Mitchell, the women's basketball team was on the road last night. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
They were on the road against Western Kentucky, but came away with the loss. But I'll get more into that right now in sports. Last night, the Troy women's basketball team started slow and couldn't catch up to Western Kentucky in a 93-66 loss at EA Diddley Stadium. Trojans came into the game having won 4 of its last 5 games, but couldn't keep the momentum going. Troy faced its biggest halftime deficit of the season, going into their locker rooms down 52-19. In the second half, the Trojans did outscore the Lady Toppers 47-41, but the damage had been done. Western Kentucky out-rebounded the Trojans 59-29. Troy also turned the ball over 24 times compared to the Hill Toppers' 14. Senior guard Joanna Harden led Troy with 26 points and now has scored 20-plus in 8 straight games. For Western Kentucky, Kendall Noble had a career night with 26 points of her own to go along with 8 rebounds. The win snapped a 3-game losing streak for the Lady Toppers and left Troy winless at EA Diddley Stadium as Western Kentucky leads the Sun Belt after this season. The Trojans return to the floor Saturday when they host Georgia State in their annual Play for K game to raise awareness for breast cancer. And tonight, the men's team will have their chance against Western Kentucky at 7 p.m. After defeating in-state rival South Alabama last week, the Trojans have had a full week away from competition to prepare for the Hilltoppers. Offensively, Troy is led by Hunter Williams, averaging more than 12 points a game. Antoine Myers is right behind him, though, coming away averaging more than 11 points a game, and he is followed closely behind by Kevin Thomas, bringing in 10 points a game and over 7 rebounds per contest. For Western Kentucky, they are led by T.J. Price, who averages a solid 16 points per game, followed by George Fant, who brings in 13 points per game and averages over 6 rebounds as well. Last time these two teams met, the Hilltoppers defeated Troy at home 60-51. The Trojans come into the game with an 8-14 record and a 3-7 in the Sun Belt. Western Kentucky has a 16-8 record and is 8-3 in the Sun Belt. Troy is 7-11 all-time against the Hilltoppers, and fans can watch the game live on ESPN3.com. And if fans aren't excited enough about the news of beer sales, perhaps this would do the job. The Troy baseball team will be broadcast for at least 3 of its games this season on the Sun Belt Network. The Trojans' home games on April 5th against Louisiana Lafayette and May 17th against South Alabama, as well as road games on May 3rd at Texas State, will be televised on CSS and ESPN3. Game times for the home games have been adjusted to accommodate the broadcast. The UL Lafayette game will now start at 3 p.m. while the regular season finale against South Alabama will begin at 6 p.m. And if fans want to see the Trojans up close, the first game of the season begins tomorrow at 6 p.m. against Northern Kentucky. So Haley, Danielle, bad loss for the women's basketball team, but hopefully the men's team can win up there at EA Diddley Stadium.
Definitely, and we wish the best of luck to the baseball team as they begin their season tomorrow.
Oh, of course. Hopefully a lot of fans will come out there and support the Trojans for the first game of the season.
Yes, thank you, Mitchell.
Thank you.